Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz for the preview of the second one-day international between Australia versus India. So Australia came out firing on their home turf and was able to win the first one-day international comfortably. So they're ahead on the points tally by 2 points. Means that India need to bounce back quick. They can't afford to take too long in figuring out how to play the Australians, but also on these conditions. What does India need to fix? Well, first and foremost, and it's something that we've spoken a lot on Cricbuzz about, is their intent to score runs quickly, especially when setting. No problems with chasing. They've got one of the best chasers in the game as their skipper Mithali Raj. But in setting, they actually need one of their openers to go big. When one of their openers does do that, India are always going to get a higher total. Yet when they lose them quickly, it's almost like India shut up shop. In terms of the playing 11, apart from Harmanpreet Kaur coming in, I don't think I'd change. And even then, I'm still not quite sure. I actually want to see some of these younger players who India have given an opportunity, given another chance as well. Because Yastika Bhatia, the debutante, even though she batted at 3, she looked good. And that was Harmanpreet Kaur's replacement. So the only thing that I would ask India to consider is changing the order. So Smriti Mandhana, Shafali Verma, Mithali Raj at 3, Yastika Bhatia at 4, Richa Ghosh at 5, Dipti Sharma at 6, and then Pooja Vastrika at 7, Sneh Rana at 8. I think that's a better order. The only question I have around India is from their bowling department. If things aren't working and their spinners didn't necessarily adapt. So someone like a Poonam Yadav, I think her slowest delivery was like 55 kilometers an hour. On a deck that doesn't give you a lot of turn, the players or the Australian team either decide to go out or they sit back and wait. So she has to be able to go up and down the speed of delivery just to keep them going and guessing what they're doing. So India need to be a little bit more thoughtful from a bowling point of view when the deck is going to be flat. I reckon it's going to be more of a road come this second ODI. So they need to find ways of creating some drama, creating some pressure, so the Australians try to do something that they're not comfortable with. As for Australia, they would be really happy with the fact that their youngsters performed well. Hannah Darlington on debut, Darcy Brown took the new ball, looked exceptional, four wickets in the first ODI. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a rotation of their fast bowlers, given the fact that they've also done 14 days lockdown and been quarantine and been in lockdown, haven't had a great preparation. So workload management will be an issue for the Australian team moving forward. From a batting perspective, tick, tick, tick. Top 3 batters got an opportunity. They just need to make sure that if they're setting, that someone like an Elise Perry, a Beth Mooney, and Ashley Gardner get a chance to spend some time in the middle. Sometimes those top 3, they're a little bit, they're hogs, let's face it. They love batting and they do it pretty well. The matchups for me to look out for, well, it's going to be Shafali Verma and any of our quicks. There's going to be some short stuff. That is definitely going to happen. And I think the fact that if Shafali Verma can get on top of this young attack, I don't know if they have the answers. So the Indians need to find a way of getting through and putting some pressure back on this Australian bowling side, because they are inexperienced. You think of who's still to come in. Stella Campbell hasn't played for Australia yet. Maitland Brown hasn't played for Australia yet. Annabelle Sutherland has only played a handful of games, and that's predominantly more T20 games. So you can see that there is a chance to really expose the depth of Australian bowlers under pressure, but they've got to be put under pressure. So the intent has to be right. Whether that's dropping and running, whether that's taking a risk or two early on in your innings, that has to happen for India. And for them to set a total of 250. I think India always tend to look to Julan Goswami to pick up wickets, and 38-year-old, she tends to bowl a decent delivery. So if she's able to pick up a couple of early wickets, you'll see the Indians just lift in the field. and then they'll get into the contest. I felt like this second innings, they knew it wasn't enough runs, and then after the ball stopped swinging, their heads dropped. So they've got to find ways. So Julian Goswami is a key against the openers. Meghna Singh and Elisa Healy, I didn't mind that matchup, especially with the ball shaping away. So let's see if Meghna Singh can potentially get Elisa Healy this time, or has Elisa Healy got the answers to the ball going around corners. So much on offer here. Multi-format series. India need to fight back, but more importantly, they need to figure out how they're going to score more runs to put pressure on this amazing Australian batting side.